You're trying to microwave yourself through life. Happy Friday, happy Valentine's Day, happy New Year. How are you all doing? How has the new year been treating you guys? The last time I recorded something was closer to the end of the year, and I am slowly but surely getting back into some of my habits. And I hope that you have been navigating through the new year with grace and compassion. So, as I am recording this, we have had a few snowstorms, one this week, one last week. In my house, we have been fighting colds and illnesses, just an overall shaky start to the new year. Can you relate? I continue to play out this image of, like you're like optimistically and gleefully entering into 2025, and you're like, yeah, this is going to be the year that like I changed my life and it's going to get done and I'm going to thrive in 2025. And then you just get smacked in the face with like a rake, or you fall and trip over the curb, or you just fall down the hill and you keep trying to get back up, but then you keep getting hit by life, and it's just like, like you just want to stay down and put your hands up and just already be ready to be done with 2025. But we're gonna get up and we're gonna keep going, right? It's gonna be one of those things where finding the internal strength to get back up and stay hopeful. We are a work in progress. So for me, I have taken a break from writing, from recording, partly because life has happened, and partly because I am trying to walk the walk of embodying the habits of the person that I want to be. It's been less doing and more being. And it has been an interesting and challenging experience, because I realize that I am trying to embody the habits of someone I've never been, right? Imagine seeing yourself as the vision, and you can imagine it, but then trying to actually live that life. You don't know what to do with yourself. You don't know how to act. You don't know you don't know what to do. And that has been, it's been disorienting, and it's taking some practice, and you want to revert back to your old habits, your current habits. And it is taking a lot of conscious brain effort and energy to embody the habits of the person that you want to be. And to be honest, like there's been these moments of frustration where you just say, like, can we just get there already? You want the growing pains to be over. You want to hit your stride. You want it to not feel so difficult. You don't want it to take so long. Like, what can we just get there? Why is this taking so long? I thought we'd be here by now, right? And it's made all the more harder because we live in a world of instant gratification. We are bombarded with the idea of ease and efficiency, and this thing, this app, this thing, this pill, this thing can make your life easier and faster, and you could get done, like that much faster. And why is it taking so? It shouldn't have to take so long. And we become impatient with how long it takes for something to happen. In part, we don't want the struggle. We don't want our loved ones to struggle. We don't want our loved ones to see us struggling with change. We don't want to feel like we're behind. We think we should be, faster than where we are. We get on social media, and seemingly our peers or those people out there, complete strangers, seem to have the life already. They seem to like be there already. And we are struggling with the idea that it's going to take time, right? And I am 47 years old, and I constantly have the sort of monster in my head telling me, we're 47. We don't have time for this to take 3, 4, 5, 10 years. Like, we don't have time, right? Like, we're going to be old before we get there, and right? And you just realize that you want your life to be microwaved, right? I have heard this term, someone said it to me, a fellow parent said to me, we want to do microwave parenting, We don't want to do crock pot parenting, and yet, part of the struggle of seeing where our microwave parenting is getting us is not great, right? And we want that with our lives, but the rates of anxiety and depression and just the overall dissatisfaction with our life can maybe be attributed to the fact that we want things to come to us easy, and that we want it to be, just already figured out for us. And for me, I think I had this realization about when I sit in my meditation and I'm like, why am I so uncomfortable with like being in the process, being in the journey? Why do I want to just get there already? And an interesting insight that came to me was that we kind of don't trust the end, right? Like you want some level of guarantee, you want some level of assurances that what you're doing is going to turn out okay. Obviously you don't want to feel like you've wasted a year of your life or 3 years or 5 years on something that's not going to work. But it's also this element of that you don't have faith that your hard work will lead to the thing that you want. And even if it's not the thing that you want, not having faith that all of your hard work is going to lead to somewhere good, right? And when you think about microwaved food, it's already been prepared by someone else. You go to the store, it's been properly portioned out. Someone else has done the hard work of putting all the ingredients together and making sure that it tastes good, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Somebody has already done the work of creating something for you, and all you have to do is heat it up and enjoy it, right? And unless you are trying something out for the first time, you're pretty much guaranteed that it's going to turn out okay, right? Even following a recipe, you're pretty much guaranteed that it's going to turn out okay. And if it doesn't turn out okay, it's because you just don't like the recipe or you don't like the thing, but you have some sense that it's going to be okay. And I think we are seeking that out with our lives. We have a hard time with the uncertainty of making a life from scratch. We don't want it to take so long. We want someone else to tell us the ingredients of what it's going to take to have a great life. We want certainty. We just want to show up and eat life without taking the time to fail and experiment or be judged or to have to just try again. That level of uncertainty is scary. And as much as we know that internally, that cooking a meal or cooking a life from scratch is so much more rewarding and nutritious and tasty and just, feeds our souls and feeds our bellies better, the fear of it not working out is just too great. But this is where faith has to come in, right? This is where when you put the ingredients into a crock pot and you set it and forget it and you let it cook for 6 hours, you just have this inherent trust that you're going to come home to a home-cooked meal that is waiting for you and that is delicious. And yet there is also this inherent trust that if it's a disaster, if this thing that you tried in the crock pot doesn't work out, you have a pizza place on standby. You're just going to say, okay, kids, we're going to go to Chick-fil-A or we're going to have pizza for dinner tonight. We're okay that if the meal doesn't turn out, we don't beat ourselves up and we don't call ourselves failures, and we don't just, like there's something wrong with us because the meal didn't turn out as we had wanted. But yet we are so quick to do that with our lives, right? The expectation is that like if it doesn't turn out, there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that the recipe just didn't work out, right? And hopefully you just say to yourself, oh, maybe next time I'll add more of this, more of that, or I just won't make this recipe again. You just pivot and you just try something different, right? And so I encourage you to try to reframe your life in that way. You have to believe that you have all of the right ingredients inside of you to make a great life. You have to be patient and wait for the 3 months or the 3 years for your ideas to come to fruition. You have to trust that your choices will turn out okay. And if they don't, having faith and trust that you can pivot. It is uncomfortable for sure. And trying to let go of the control of the time frame and the speed at which success is going to show up is uncomfortable. it is uncomfortable, right? But if you've read any, successful books from people who are successful, I just started reading Jeff Bezos's book, and it's a biography about him, and he talks about seeing life as a two-way door, right? You go through the door, but you always know that you could turn around and come back out. And yes, there are one-way doors, but so often we see life as a one-way door when it isn't. Life is a two-way door, and not everything that you choose to do, is permanent or has, that you can't pivot. You can, right? And Angela Duckworth talks about this concept in her book, Grit, and Carol Dweck talks about this in her book, Mindset, which I highly recommend. So I say this to you to trust the process. And I understand that it's easier said than done. I am navigating through my own trust of the process, but I also tell myself that I'd rather have a crock pot life than a microwaved one any day of the week. So let me know what you're working on. I'd love to hear what you're working on. Of course, if you need support, you want support, you need to help, develop your self-confidence in identifying your gifts, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I want to support you in your journey as much as possible. So that's where I leave you. So until next time, be well and embody the habits of the person that you want to be. Take care. Bye.